Hey everyone, I'm Seth V for the Knife Center, and today I'm excited like a kid on Christmas morning because I have a present from Boker here in front of me. We're going to take this apart, put it together, and answer your questions. Sorry in advance for spoiling the surprise, but here I have in front of me the Boker Advent Calendar. It is a kit to build a knife one day at a time up to Christmas. And today, we're going to be jumping straight to the good part by taking everything out, putting the knife together. And while we're at it, we're going to answer a lot of your questions that you left in the comments and on Instagram. So let's get right into it.
And I'm here with a camera and a microphone, so I don't have to make a caption for everything I say.
Yeah. Some of you asked some great questions for Thomas too, so he's going to be off camera, on camera, helping me out as we go through this. So I think the first step we should probably do is just open this, open all the boxes, get everything out and set up, ready to go.
I think open box number 1, yeah.
Let's go for it.
While you're working on that, I'm going to bring up our first question. From YouTube, nickname KE1NZ. What are your positions, jobs at Knife Center when you're not in front of a camera? Day-to-day tasks, responsibility, etc. That's the kind of question a stalker asks, I think.
You want to take that one first, Thomas?
I'll take my duties. It's video, putting these things together. Occupies a lot of my time. You know, there is the initial filming, of course, but then the edit takes its time. We've then got to make it YouTube friendly, create caption files for everything, product links, making sure everything looks good, and then creating graphics for everything. All the graphics that we use on Knife Center, like we've made in-house. And then the rest of my time is spent bugging David.
Yeah, a lot of work goes into these videos behind the scenes, and Thomas is the one doing all of it.
Seth, you are our social media guy, but that's not the only thing you do.
Yeah, I mean, I spend a lot of my time answering messages that come in on social media. I, take care of the schedule for the posts day to day. You know, I manage the product drops when those happen, coordinating with the product team upstairs, the website team, making sure everything's ready to go the moment something becomes available. I also spend a good part of my time kind of managing and coming up with new exclusives for the company. So myself, David, and the rest of the exclusives team, we are all, constantly looking for great knives and how to make them even better. You know, we like to, we look at what's selling, what's working for people, and what we could do to bring an even better version of that to the market. Yeah, so I spend a lot of time looking at my phone and clicking away at a keyboard.
And looking at knives.
And looking at knives. Lots and lots of knives. Well, here we are into box number 1. We have what I assume is the back spring, or the lock bar for the back lock. We're going to be making a Boker haddock. This is kind of what it looks like here.
It'll be more put together than that picture, though.
Yeah.
All right, question from Instagram, Wayne Rosenthal. How many products are on the warehouse shelves?
Ooh, well, it changes day to day. Did you look up the actual answer for this?
I looked up the actual number. We have computers now. I don't have to actually count each thing. That would get tedious. As of now, there's over 18,000 products.
Wow.
That's going to change day to day, week to week, month to month, year to year. When customs come out, new items come in, old products get discontinued.
There's always a waterfall of new stuff around Blade Show times.
Yeah. And that's what keeps our new Knives of the Week videos so busy.
Oh, look at that. Here's kind of a little extra. Not a knife part, but a Jens Anso patch.
Nice.
I'm going to leave that in the bag.
Yeah. Okay, next question. King Cormac 8004, and many people have asked this question before. Interesting haircut, Seth. Did you do it yourself?
The truth is I don't think I've ever had a good haircut, whether it's from a barber or from myself. My hair is just not cooperative. This haircut I got done in Mexico City about 2 months ago when I was on vacation. I'm kind of having fun doing that now. Like every time I go to a country where I don't speak the language very well, I'll just try to get a haircut. That way the awkwardness of the language barrier covers over the natural awkwardness of me not even knowing what to ask for when I get a haircut.
You are a braver gambler than I am.
Well, it always grows back, so I guess...
Until it doesn't. Okay. And these questions, we just scattershot them. You know, y'all asked us anything, and we're going to answer whatever. From Jacob Brantley, 90. Lord of the Rings or Star Wars?
The eternal dichotomy of man. I'm going to go with Lord of the Rings on this one. It was, like, I read the books as a kid. It's very, you know, it's such a deep world to get sucked into, the kind of things that a little kid like myself could get real obsessed with. And then when the movies came out, it was such an event. I remember, you know, staying up late for the showings, going to the opening day. Then when they were all released on DVD, you know, I'd go to parties where we watched all 3 movies in a row. So for me, it's got to be Lord of the Rings.
See, I kind of have to default to Star Wars because I was told to read The Hobbit in 8th grade, and I didn't like it. I'm the weirdo. That's fine. So, Star Wars, and then the prequels came out, and then I watched a bunch of anime.
Yeah, there's a lot of Star Wars stuff out there. Way more than even Lord of the Rings. I mean, you got the old books that they sort of uncanonized, right?
Yeah.
And then all the new properties too. The shows, some of which I've heard are actually pretty good.
Yeah. It's, I mean, like anything, it's a big universe.
Yeah.
From Instagram, at earn.n.n. Why does my Subaru make weird noises?
Ooh, that really should be a question for David.
It should be a question for David. He has gone through a few of those engines.
Yeah, I don't think he has a Subaru anymore, but he might be able to help you with that one.
My limited knowledge of Subarus, either it's supposed to,
Okay.
or you're out of oil. I don't know a third option. That's as far as I got.
Ooh, another cool extra here.
Ooh.
An Anso coin.
Anso coin, nice.
Very nice.
Moving on, and we got this question a lot in various versions, but I'm going to highlight Michael Simonelli 356. Question for Seth and Thomas. What got you guys into working in the knife industry? We've all heard about everyone gets into collecting knives, but what are the opportunities that led you to working in the business of cutlery?
Yeah, for me, it's a kind of an interesting story, I guess. I've always been obsessed with knives, but it wasn't until I got on the internet and became a member of some of the knife forums and such that I realized that there was this whole wide world out there. Really, that's when I discovered the modern knife industry as it exists today. And I kind of got so passionate about it that I co-founded a website in 2015 called KnifeNews.com. And whoa, look at that. Worksharp, little mini pocket sharpener with bits in it in case we break the ones we have. That's cool. A lot of extras in this. Anyway, yeah.
25 bucks worth, yeah.
Yeah. KnifeNews.com. I started just kind of covering new releases. I would interview makers, talk to them about stuff they were working on, new locking mechanisms, whatever, anything that was happening in the knife industry. And through that, I got to know the folks here at KnifeCenter. In fact, I could pretty reliably call up Jason anytime I needed a quick quote on like the retailer's perspective for an article. So developed a kind of working relationship with them. And then when I split ways with Knife News, I'm not affiliated with it anymore. KnifeCenter kind of reached out to me and said, hey, you know, you want to work for us? We could use someone who could write about knives and do stuff for our social media. And it seems like you kind of did that with Knife News. So, you know, you want a job? And first I said no, and then I said yes. So
you packed up the car and drove a long way.
Yep. I moved from Arizona to Virginia, and here I am.
So my entry is just KnifeCenter. I went to school for this, film production.
Mm-hmm.
Graduated in 2010 in the middle of recession.
Ah.
Yay. So I bartended for a while, did some freelance work, and then decided I can't bartend the rest of my life. So started looking for who was hiring full-time positions, and here I am.
Yeah. KnifeCenter needed a video guy. And maybe that's why your knife collection is still so sensible, because you come at it from a place of like, can I use this in my life, instead of I need a knife today.
Yeah, pretty much. Okay. Brian Gates, 2900. Where's David at, bro? Come on. David went to Blade Show West this weekend.
Yep.
Where his Pocket Tango, and we've got one here because he has so many at his desk. His Pocket Tango won Best Factory Fixed Blade at Blade West. So nicely done, David.
Bravo. Yeah. A well-deserved win.
Yeah.
Congrats.
And he's not here to hear me say this. It's a good knife, bro.
Yeah, that's really awesome. So David was down there and accepted his win in person. Pretty cool.
All right, so we got all boxes open.
Yep, all boxes open. I'm noticing now that there's a lot of extra parts. For example, a huge selection of scales. We've got these like full-length G10 scales. We've got shred carbon fiber and a bolster. Let's see, probably goes like that. And then a brass bolster too. So I guess I get to choose what this knife is going to look like. And that's going to be pretty fun.
And you know how it goes together, so you just take it apart if you don't like how it did.
Yeah, and I also have very helpful sort of Lego-like instructions here. Or maybe IKEA.
What's the German for IKEA?
IKEA!
That tracks. That tracks. I like it.
All right.
All right, I'm going to let you read through that and try and comprehend while I get our next question. Next few questions, I don't really need Seth for this. NG Arc. What makes the world go round? Either inertia or cheese.
Mmm.
The Toad Sage 94. My mom's birthday is tomorrow, October 4th. We missed it. Sorry. She's turned 71 and loves your knife videos. Question, could you please wish her a happy birthday? Thanks for considering. Well, the Toad Sage 94's mom, happy belated.
Happy birthday.
Yep. We look forward to hearing that you've turned 101 in 30 years' time.
Oh gosh. Oh, yeah. Tiny screws already hitting the floor.
Apologies.
Luckily, this comes with a lot of extra screws. Yeah. Probably to cover exactly that situation.
Yeah. Toad Sage 94's mom, sorry we couldn't call you out by name. Your kid didn't provide it. Sorry. Dallison 16, among many others. You know what, let's highlight two that pretty much ask the same thing. I'd love to see what else you guys are nerdy about besides knives. Similarly, Effin' Lawn Gnome. What other hobbies or activities do Seth and Thomas enjoy when they aren't thinking about knives?
Well, I'm kind of always thinking about knives, but...
You know, Exhibit A right there.
Yeah. Lately, I've been getting really into motorcycles.
That's going to do your haircuts no favors.
No, certainly not. A motorized two-wheeled vehicle was my first personal vehicle. When I was 16, I was driving a little scooter around the streets of Tucson, Arizona. And then, about a year and a half ago, I sort of got the itch to get something like that again. And I went and got a motorcycle. And then I went and got another one. So I've been spending a lot of time on that, making little modifications, doing the maintenance, just twisting wrenches in the garage and going around corners. Yeah, it's been fun.
And Seth can ignore me while he works on that. Wife and I had a kid several months ago, so that's most of my time. Apart from that, I grew up tinkering with computers. That evolved into tinkering with the cars, which tinkering is a fun way of saying keeping it running on a budget. So beyond that, it pretty much boils down to like, hey, can I tweak something to make it work better? Can I make something?
Yeah, tinkering might be even selling it a little short because you've done some extensive repairs and modification to your vehicles?
Yeah, that's mostly out of stubbornness. And I think I come by it honestly. Both my grandfathers were engineers as far as their career goes. So I don't think I could stop if I wanted to. So yeah, case in point, I had to learn how to weld to get one of my cars back together.
Yeah, that was impressive.
Yeah, it took a while. I won't say I'm a good welder. All right, moving on. Cameron Miller 842. Which big brand has the most well-rounded and complete knife roster across the board?
Interesting question.
I think we're looking at it right now.
Oh, Boker's is probably the biggest. Yeah.
I think Boker's huge.
Yeah. And they cover everything from tiny fifth pocket knives with quirky opening mechanisms to giant fixed blade choppers, bushcraft knives, flippers, backlocks, traditionals. Nobody's really does the width of modern cutlery like Boker does.
Even if you're looking for a Swiss Army style, like they got it.
Yeah, yeah.
Big fixed blades, folders. It's Boker.
Yep.
I rag on David for not reading these names. Here I am. Cesar Avila, 739. Question for the both of you. What's the worst cut you received by accidents? Who's the one with the most stitches?
Okay.
I'm going to start. And this probably says a lot about me. My worst accidents are on my head. There's the back of my head. That's a fun story I might get into some other time. But my worst was 8 stitches right here on my forehead. When I was about 8 years old, I decided to just walk into a corner of a wall. Split. And growing up, our neighbor was he was a firefighter, volunteer firefighter, and he came over and just take a look, and he's looking at me, and I'm a dumb kid. And I was like, it's not so bad. He turns to my mom and goes, "Oh my God."
Yeah, don't let the kid know how bad it is. Sometimes they're looking to you to figure out how they should feel about it.
Yeah, so they immediately brought me into urgent care and got me stitched up.
Similarly, yeah, the worst cut I've ever had was not from a knife, but actually from a swinging door. When I was a kid, the swinging door clipped the tip of my thumb off, and you can still see the scar. Maybe it's kind of
it's there.
A little dimple there. The tip was recovered and stitched back on, and my thumb is complete still, but keep that scar to this day. As for knives, kitchen knives. Before I really honed my kitchen technique, learn the crab hold. I don't know, there's like an official name for it, but learn to hold your food like this and chop like this. It's so much safer because when you're just holding stuff like this, it's only a matter of time before you clip the edge of your thumb or your finger.
Yeah, I've done that a lot and I still haven't learned.
Yeah. So kitchen knives for sure. They'll get you.
Yep. W Falk 80. Is a career in metallurgy still attainable after Laren Thomas's many remarkable achievements?
Interesting question. I would say it's probably more attainable than ever. Metallurgists have always been a important crew member of a knife company. You need somebody on staff to make sure that not just that your knife blades are heat treated right, but that all your metal parts are working correctly. You need to have the liners be the right alloys and the springs to be tempered properly, and every part that's metal on a knife, there's a metallurgist behind that making sure that it was the right choice and the right type of manufacturing to make it work properly.
Yeah, and this goes beyond knives, construction, any kind of engineering, automotive, wherever metal's involved. It's a bit like saying, hey, is a career in automobiles viable since the accomplishments of Henry Ford? Of course there is. Like, he kind of opened it up.
Yeah. I think now's a great time to be getting into metallurgy. Whether you end up in the knife industry or not, it's a great a great job.
Yeah. Flashing back to the New Knives of the Week video we did last week, these names, ZR0M0N. The translucency on the polymer actually makes me think of those limited edition GameCubes and controllers. So this polymer, the James brand polymer, and I'll get some close-ups of this, specifically this purple one, actually didn't make me think of GameCube after this comment. Made me think of, and I have visual aid here, the Nintendo 64.
Yeah, I remember those.
This atomic purple Nintendo 64. Now, you drew the conclusion, it reminded you of the iMac.
Yeah, that's what first sprang to mind.
Released in 1998. Interestingly enough, Nintendo started making these controllers available with the N64 system bundle in 1998.
Okay.
There was an atomic, and this was called Atomic Purple. There was an Atomic Purple Game Boy Color released 1998.
Huh.
So all roads kind of lead to 1998. There were some special edition Game Boy Pockets that were that clear plastic thing going on. Those were in 97. So yeah, everything leads to 1998. And then I have a theory that Y2K happened and people suddenly didn't want to look inside their electronics anymore.
That makes sense. Yeah. God, everyone was so scared about Y2K.
Yeah. I'm still not convinced it didn't happen. And then a follow-up question, unrelated, like that one was on YouTube. This one's from Instagram, Alt EDC. Hey guys, I don't want to cause a divide in our EDC community, but Xbox, PlayStation, or PS or PC?
Ooh. Well,
I think I answered already.
Yeah, where's Nintendo? If it's going to be a console, it's got to be Nintendo, right?
I think the winning comment, and I think this just because this is what I do. I think the combination is your Nintendo console for those exclusives and any of the other three.
Yeah, these days it seems like they're pretty interchangeable.
Yeah, I'm going PC these days just because I already had to build a PC for video editing. And it didn't make sense to spend the money on a console.
Yeah, convenient that a video editing PC can also be a great gaming PC.
Yeah. I mean, bits are bits usually.
Yep.
But yeah, no, I had a few Xboxes in my day. And a number of Nintendos. Obviously, that's where I pulled that controller out of.
All right, we're getting to the good part here. I've got the knife kind of framed up.
It's now a folding knife-shaped object.
Yeah, just missing the pretty bits. So we got the liners in place, the internal screws to hold it together. The process to actually put the blade in was pretty easy. It's got a quick release feature here. So you don't have to fiddle too much with the back spring. You kind of just slide it over the pivot through that little notch right there. Yeah.
So you can swap it out later if you want.
Yep.
Excellent.
Let's make a decision about these scales. So do we want to go with the marbled carbon fiber or the wood? What do you
I
think?
like the seasonalness of the wood.
Okay, let's do wood and then maybe the brass bolsters to go with it.
Yeah, that'd be a nice
That
classy
seems nice.
look. Yeah. On a classic blade shape too. CPyor47. Who's your favorite Muppet?
Oh boy. The Muppets.
You can say just the singing ones.
I'm gonna go with the Swedish Chef.
I hadn't
Not a
considered...
Muppet, right? It's a Muppet.
He's a Muppet. I hadn't considered Swedish Chef. I'm wishing I had. My answer was going to be Boker.
Oh.
He's got easy lines.
That's funny because Boker doesn't say words and the Swedish Chef speaks in Swedish, but still nobody can understand either of them.
That kind of sums up our channel here, I think.
Yeah.
What is this 95? Question. How many times have you been told, Seth, that you look like a cool version of a young Ned Flanders?
You know, I didn't really get that until I started appearing on this channel.
And every single time you do.
But I choose to take it as a compliment because, you know, we all know how cut Ned Flanders was underneath those little polo shirts of his.
I mean, I've called him Ned Flanders a number of times. I've just left out the cool and young parts.
Yeah. Yeah.
Chris Dunn, 2934, among many others, asked this. And what discontinued knife deserves a comeback with modern updated materials? Or, from Crazy SSHA, what is your favorite discontinued knife or now out of a business or a now out of business knife company?
Okay, I'm going to start with discontinued knives. I think before last year, my answer would have been the Benchmade 710, but Benchmade agreed and brought back the 710. So I think the old Benchmade SOCP, I think it was, that's one I think could make a lot of sense today. A big, lightweight folder with an axis lock, really cool design. There's some old Spydercos I wish they still made.
There's a lot of old Spydercos you wish they still made.
Yeah, the C22 Walker deserves a comeback. The Lum Chinese folder, amazing knife. Wish that was still available. The original Centofonte, great knife. Geez, what else? Oh, you know what? The Becker BK5 and the Bundock Bowie. I really wish I could get my hands on those because they'll come up on eBay like once in a blue moon for hundreds and hundreds of dollars. And I wish I could have bought them on sale back when they were like 95 bucks.
I think my answer is already known. It's the ZT55.
Oh, yeah. That's a good one.
Or I think there's a number of old Leatherman models that could benefit from the free.
Oh, yeah. Bring back the juice. Bring back the juice.
A free juice. I think that'd be a mover.
Yeah.
Not that they need to, I think. Because like every time they do a special edition juice, David buys all of them.
Yeah. Yeah, David's addicted to buying the old juices. But there's nothing quite like it in Leatherman's current lineup. Like that size was really unique.
That juice is apparently worth the squeeze.
Yep.
Because it's pliers. Ruin now J5, among many others, because this comes up every time Seth's on camera. What watch are you wearing?
Oh, today it is a Smith's Caribbean, it's called. Smith's does like recreations of historic historic watches from different eras. This one is like sort of a mid-century design. It was the first watch, maybe the first watch with like 1,000 meters of water resistance.
So it's okay if you drop it in the sink.
Yeah, it's fine for washing my hands. That's what I'm wearing today. There were some questions about my watch collection too.
Yeah, they always get into that too.
Yeah, collecting watches, I'm sort of embarrassed by how many watches I have. I am not proud of my watch collection. There's something about watches that I'm drawn to. They're very useful and beautiful objects, but the culture around them can be really, really toxic, and I'm not so much into that. But I do have a small collection of watches. I really like vintage quartz watches, like from the 80s, 70s, and 80s. Seiko and Citizen. At the time, those were the best watches in the world, and you can still get them for a really reasonable price because they're not as hyped as, you know, your old Rolexes and what have you. But
safe to say you got a lot of time on your hands?
Yeah, too much. Too much.
I just have a smartwatch, which I shouldn't wear right now because when I'm holding my kid, his arm keeps hitting the watch and activating it and rearranging the screen and opening apps. So I leave it locked, but then when it's locked, you can still do an emergency call. I have to like calling 911 by accident.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so maybe I'll switch to the G-Shock you gave me.
Oh yeah.
Eric Extraordinary. Thomas, have you ever owned a brand new car? If so, what was it?
Ooh, good question.
It was a Hot Wheels, and there was a lot of warranty claims on that. Arc the Curious no more. Would you prefer that orcas had laser beams on their heads?
Whoa.
Or the moon was turned into a disco ball?
Whoa, what a question.
Yeah.
Wait, say that again?
Would you prefer that orcas had laser beams on their heads.
Okay.
So like laser sharks, but orcas.
Mm-hmm.
Or the moon was turned into a disco ball.
It's got to be the laser orcas.
Yeah.
If the moon was a disco ball, I think life on this planet might be over.
Yeah. You're never going to know if you have moonlight or not. Because, you think about a disco ball, yeah, it spreads the light everywhere, but only in spots.
Yeah.
So you're going to have
you get like a giant solar death ray hitting the ground.
You have reverse... You would have reverse eclipses.
Ooh.
Like some spots of the Earth are just in light at night.
Yeah, I would not appreciate that.
So I'm going with the orcas. I think we can trust them with laser beams.
Yeah, give them laser beams. See what they do.
Give them laser beams, yeah. Arcatin 1172. I was in Fredericksburg last month and didn't see you or DCA around town. What's up with that? We have another stalker.
Yeah. I don't leave the house that much, to be honest.
Fredericksburg is also a big town.
Yeah.
It's deceptively big.
Kind of spread out.
Well, because, so the mailing address Fredericksburg spans 2 counties. Also, everyone thinks of it as this small town because it's right in between 2 capital cities of DC and Richmond. So I understand why you didn't see anyone. Yeah. I never see them around town.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. I pretty much go out to eat. I'll go to the park. I'll go out on drives. But yeah, I don't know. I don't get out that much. Maybe part of it has to do with the fact that I bought a flipped house, which I'm lucky enough to have bought a house, believe me. But
I thought you were crazy for doing it.
There are so many hidden problems. Oh my gosh. It's kind of a nightmare. So I'm always at home fixing something. Like this weekend, the shower stopped working. So I got to deal with that.
Well, you look fine.
Yeah. We have, a hose.
We've got a hose at work, too.
All right. You know what? I think I have completed my Boker haddock.
All right.
I'll take the edge protector off there.
There you go. Now you have a knife.
Yeah. And look at all the extras that come with this. So I was able to pick between 5 different thumb studs. Got them here on the table. There's a whole nother set of hardware that looks to have been kind of heat blued. So if I wanted some blue hardware instead of this just bright satin finish, whole extra set there. These cool aluminum, or I don't know, it's kind of dark, maybe even like zirconium, probably aluminum, but these other metal bolsters here, those scales like you saw, there's a lot of options here to mix and match.
And change it out if you want to do it later.
Yeah, but this is what we came up with today.
So how's the knife as a knife?
I think it's really good. I remember this one, I think it's been in Boker's catalog for a while. It's a bit of a modern traditional before that was so much of a thing. This other blade even has a nail nick instead of thumb studs. So you've got a kind of elegant traditional backlock design, but one that has a pocket clip if you want and thumb studs if you want for one-handed deployment. Chunky blade stock, but a nice thin grind. I mean, this is an elegant EDC folder from one of the best designers working today, Jens Anso. He knows what he's doing.
Excellent. And just in time for one final question. Might call it our most serious question, which is more of a comment. User WY1DL2ME2P. OTFs are not for me. Okay. Never clean manure off your shoe and forget and close the blade.
Ooh. Oh boy.
On that delightful vision, I think it's time to end here. Yeah,
this was fun though. Thanks for all those questions. It's fun sometimes to let loose a little bit and get off the topic of knives, even though knives are always the topic. Yeah.
Let us know if you want us to do this again.
Yeah. Once David's back, maybe we can convince him to do a sort of AMA. I'm sure he's got some very interesting answers to all of your knife and non-knife related questions. If you enjoyed this, if you want to see more of your questions answered, leave them in the comments. We'll go through and possibly pick them for another episode. But until then, you can get the Boker Advent Calendar or any of the other 18,000
18,000.
18,000 items.
That's just what's in stock.
Wow. Okay.
Well, there's more stuff from our distributors that can come in at a moment's notice.
Yeah, yeah. Tons of stuff. All the best knives. The knife industry has really exploded, hasn't it? It's a good time to be into knives, that's for sure. In any case, check them out on KnifeCenter.com, and don't forget about our rewards program while you're there, because you're going to buy one of those 18,000 items, you may as well get some money to pick out something else off the shelf for yourself later. With that, I've been Seth V.
I'm the other guy.
We'll see you next time.